Hello and welcome to this special edition of the Southern View. Like the past few days, Vasudha, Sam and I are still talking about Jana Nayagan. We can only talk, Vasudha, because the movie is not going to hit the screens because the Madras High Court, which gave a huge boost to the movie early in the morning from a single judge, turned out to be an anti-climax at the end of the day, with the Chief Justice staying that order and postponing the hearing to the 21st of January. So no Jana Nayagan. Parashakti will hit the screens tomorrow. Vasudha, disappointed, excited? I want to know what your sense of what's happening is.
I'm just intrigued. I don't know what the CBFC must be thinking right now, Veera, because clearly Jana Nayagan has to go from one legal hurdle to another, while Parashakti, which is deeply politicized, something that's based on anti-Hindi agitation, something that is supposed to be a DMK-backed movie completely, you can call it a propaganda movie, that's all set to release tomorrow. So why would the CBFC go after Jana Nayagan and not
Had the movie released here?
Unimaginable. It's a farewell film for Vijay. People would be dotting this area. Hardly we could have space to stand. But whenever the film is released, you will see that they're disappointed, but they're going to come back with that kind of a bang whenever the film is released.
When is the film going to be released? That's the big question. We don't know what's going to happen because the producers, we believe, may be moving the Supreme Court against the stay. But Pongal release out of the question, looks like, because you've got Monday. But it's going to be tough to get a Pongal release.
Unless the Supreme Court grants them instant relief, still the producers will take time to turn it around to be able to get the other language films dubbed and certified, so that they'll be able to release both Tamil and the other language versions. It's going to be a challenging task unless the Supreme Court immediately grants them that kind of a relief.
All right, Vasudha, what's your sense? Because the narrative and the perception, Vasudha, very clearly is that if Vijay was the target of the DMK after that stampede, and that tragic stampede, and he was being questioned and targeted by the DMK, and that's the narrative, and it kind of sent out a feeling that Vijay getting stronger. Now the narrative seems to be that the central government and the BJP is targeting him through the CBFC, and let's not forget, he's been called by the CBI on the 12th of January. What's your sense?
Well, Veera, it would be very naive to think that this is all process-driven and, it's just a legal setback.
Absolutely.
Because there is politics clearly at play. That's the sense that everybody is getting. But remember that, Vijay has been seen as an X-factor this election. So we don't know Vijay's entire potency in this election. But yes, the fact that, they're still a fledgling and probably they're also looking at the best ways to approach this legally shows. Because, even during Karur Stampede, we did feel that the party did not have experienced experts telling them what is the right thing to do. And similarly here as well, we do think that the party is taking its own time and probably also exposing how inexperienced it is, while seasoned political players have gotten their way.
That's right. You're making a very important, nuanced point there. You see, there are multiple layers to this. This is not about just a film. Though this would mean a hit in terms of box office, it would mean losses because of the fact that so much was planned and kept in order, and then you had this situation of the film not releasing. But you see, there are multiple political connotations as well. But I want to get to the most important issue. Is the CBFC targeting Vijay? Is that the perception that's gaining ground? Let me go live across to a very well-known producer, G. Dhananjay, who has won several national awards, who's worked closely with the CBFC. Sir, thanks very much for speaking to us. There are enormous political overtones and other issues that are being played out. Some saying that don't see this only from a film or political point of view, see this from a freedom of expression point of view. What's your first take on what's playing out in the courts of Chennai?
First, let me introduce that, I've been interacting with the Central Board of Certification for more than 45 films. I received a censor certificate for 45 films in the last 15 years. So my personal experience is there, apart from my writing career and all. But let me tell you, this is very abnormal. The Honorable Justice P.T. Asha rightly mentioned, this is abnormal, not just for Tamil cinema. I can put it across, Mr. Veera, this is for Indian cinema. Never, ever it happened. After a film has been confirmed certification, a mail is sent to the producer, clearly outlining the kind of cuts has to be implemented, and the certification has been confirmed, saying that it's a UA 16+. Sumoto, the chairperson, sends a letter saying after 15 days, sends a letter saying that I am not in a position to issue the certification because there is one person of the examining committee objected to the rating. So you have to go for the revising committee. This is absolutely abnormal, unprecedented in the history of Indian cinema. It is like normally I went through so many films where I went for revising committee also, where in my rating they not agreed, they given A rating, requested for UA, they said go for the revising committee. We went to the revising committee, and the revising committee we convinced them for UA. This is the way the process. Or rarely it happened for some of my colleagues, the film has been refused census, and then they went to the revising committee. It never happened that the examining committee, you completed the whole process. You completed means I'm talking about you got a mail from the chairman. You are not getting from the examining body. You got from the CEO of the censor board categorically outlining the kind of cuts to be implemented and the rating for the film. After that, 15 days later, you take a turnaround and you say that you take a U-turn and say that no, there is one member objected. How can you do that? This is the reason why Honorable Justice P.T. Asha rightly said this will set an unprecedented kind of create chaos in the whole system of censoring a film. Then where is the guarantee for a censorship? You apply and then you get a letter of confirmation of the censor certificate. Again, you will go back.
Right.
You will go back and turn around and send a mail again. Where will the producer go? Where is the certainty of a censor rating?
Right, Vasudha, Mr. Dhananjay making very strong points saying about the process itself. You have a question for him?
Mr. Dhananjay, what does this do for the credibility of the CBFC?
And perhaps of the film.
Yes.
What it does to the film, it will only add more empathy, more support from the audience. Okay, most of the people, if earlier there are 10 lakh people who wanted to watch it, today it's going to be 30 lakh people go to watch it. 3 times, 4 times, the people are across the country I'm just limiting, across the globe talking about what is the problem, why these people are stopping a film, why this is, kind of thing happening for Thalapathy Vijay films. So the whole sympathy, empathy, everything has come for the film. So the film is going to benefit whenever it releases. It's going to be humongous. The collection is going to be humongous. The film is going to be a blockbuster. Nobody can stop. They can only delay the success of the film. The whole process of censor board or anybody in the power can only delay the success of the film. They cannot stop the success of the film. So now the credibility of the whole censor board is going to be taking a big, hit, saying that what are you trying to achieve? The Honorable Justice very clearly says that, this is abnormal, what the process you're talking about, whatever I explained. And why are you trying to do this by appealing to the Chief Justice again? And they might even go to the, Supreme Court. In case, this doesn't get, stay in the Chief Justice.
Right.
What are you trying to achieve? What this film has done to you? This film is not watched by public. This film is not complained by anybody.
Right.
It is an examining committees, clearly given. 4 people have already cleared the film. There is one member who had an objection and sent a letter, and for that reason you're taking it as a ego issue. For that you're taking it as a personal issue, saying that this is against the censor board and somebody is not accepting my rating or my revision, revised committee, and because of that I'll delay the process. I'll employ the Attorney General of India, to the extent like what is the kind of money they are going to spend for this kind of court proceedings, bringing in all the way from Delhi. And looking at, look at the producer has been forced to spend huge money to bring in such big lawyers to fight his case. What are you trying to do for what? As the film has been seen by the people, have anybody said that, this film is going to be detrimental to the, sovereignty of the country? You tell me, is there any such comment has come? Why are you making it as such a national issue by making it as a big, complaint and then going to the appeal and all? This could have been easily handled at the lowest level.
No, you see, Mr. Dhananjay, this is not just a film, right? There are enormous political overtones around Jana Nayagan. What's the sense? Leave the fact that you are looking at it as a film and take the producer's hat away. As an analyst, as an observer, what's the sense? What do you think is the perception that it will create? The perception of Vijay being targeted by who?
Creates a clear-cut communication saying that if you are going to take on the power at the center or anybody who's in the power, whether it's state or center, your film is going to face the music. Okay, this film is going to face whoever has got the power can actually control your film. If you are creating art, unless you are independently creating art and putting it as a book or something like that, you can escape. But if you are going through a process of Central Board of Film Certification, be aware I tweeted about it. I clearly said that, that's getting, reported by all the local channels. I clearly said that, any filmmaker, please be warned, get this warning clear. If your film is going to be against the people in the power, either whether state or center, people will go to any extent to make sure that your film doesn't release as per the release date. So you ought to have sufficient days. This is my point. You should have 60 days in your hand.
Well, thanks very much, Mr. Dhananjay. There are multiple questions to ask you, but you've made very, very strong points. I wonder what the advice would be to the producers and the others involved in this. But thanks very much for joining us. We are right here at the Rohini Theatre, where there would have been a huge festival of sorts if the movie has been released. What is your disappointment? You have come from Singapore to watch the movie?
The movie does not have
No, but you came from Singapore to watching Jana Nayagan?
Yeah, we buy the ticket earlier and come down.
And you got your money back?
Yeah, I got back already.
Is that what you want?
No, don't want. We want to see him.
Why do you want to see Vijay?
We love him. We love him.
And your name, ma'am?
Mala.
You're Mala. What are you doing now? You're all taking photos with this
Yeah, at least we take the photo and go back to Singapore. That's all.
You have to show to everyone that you came here.
We came here.
But
Everybody thinks we never see him here.
Okay.
That's why.
So you're very disappointed.
Very, very, very disappointed.
What's your message to all those who've not given the film certification?
Very disappointed. Depressed. I can't say anything. Okay. I cannot. I feel like crying.
And you've come with your whole family.
Yeah, my family. She's the crazy of the
She's the
Vijay.
craziest of the lot. Look, she's running away. She's shy. She's trying to take a photo with Vijay. We'll try and get more Vijay fans because we've asked for some to come here, Vasudha as well. But there's one person amongst us who's been reporting this case who has had a inside track to the film world, and that's Lata Srinivasan. She got to meet the rival star, at least today, which is Shiva Karthikeyan. She got that photo that you see up there is the one that of Lata with Shiva Karthikeyan. Lata, if you can hear me, what's Shiva Karthikeyan saying about all of this? Obviously, he's not giving any interviews at the moment, but you got an inside track to meet him. What's the sense? Is he disappointed that Vijay's film hasn't released, or is he actually, in a sense, happy that he'll get a clear run at the box office?
No, Veera, I think there is no happiness per se in the fact that, Vijay's film didn't release, because earlier he had stated this is going to be an Annan Thambi Pongal, elder brother, younger brother, with both Jana Nayagan and Parag Shakti coming in, and now it's only going to be a Thambi Pongal because it's only his film that's coming in. And he said this was completely unexpected. Nobody thought this was going to happen. The last 15 days, the kind of information that has been coming in day on day, there have been so many twists and turns. And he said, I wish, that the audience got to see both the films on screen and enjoyed the festival this year and had a great, Pongal. But he is, of course, happy that Parashakti is releasing tomorrow, and he wants, the audience to go and enjoy it in theatres.
Okay, you saying that he wants the audience to go and enjoy the theatre, but very interesting, Lata, that you got that inside track. Hopefully you'll get an inside track with Vijay and get an interview with him as well. Any progress on that? Because he's not speaking to anyone. No one in the TVK is speaking to anyone, Lata.
Yeah, no, Veera, he is right now, in a lot of trouble as far as his film is concerned, and of course, the CBI has also summoned him on January 12th. So I think, he's preoccupied with too many things because, he has one foot still in films and one leg in politics, and right now, he's facing a lot of pressure from both sides and a lot of issues. So I don't think he's going to be meeting the media at any point till at least the film issue gets sorted out and, the movie hits screens, and we don't know when that is as of now.
Right, interesting that you say that. We'll keep you on the line, Lata, because we have the other guests as well. Vasudha joining us. Mamta Kale, former member of the CBFC, joins us. We also have Sumant Raman, who's a keen political observer of Tamil Nadu. Thanks very much, Sumant, for joining us. We also have Vijay Dharani, ex-BJP leader, who is, BJP leader and ex-MLA, who was here with me at the Rohini Theatre 2 days ago, who was also eager to watch Jana Nayagan in a sense, Vasudha, but she hasn't been able to Sushi joins us live as well. We'll have a pro DMK voice as well join us in a bit. But the sense that the TVK is not responding, Vasudha, and we can put a question across to Mamta Kale as well, who's an ex-member of the CBFC. The sense that the TVK is not responding, what do you make of it? Because it could have been, we just heard a Vijay fan saying the disappointment is pretty clear. We'll have more of them come in a bit from now. But what's your sense?
Veera, I think that, we've been speculating this for some time now. There was a sense that, there was an informal advisory that, all fans have to be well behaved, which is why we didn't see them spilling over onto the streets. But now there is not just disappointment, there's a little bit of anger that's creeping in. And the fact that the CBFC appealed against the single judge order and now everything has been put on hold and the movie has no chance of releasing before the 21st of January means that there would be a lot more disappointment. But yes, TVK will show an aggressive face is what we understand from our sources, starting with approaching the Supreme Court on Monday.
That's right. That's interesting. You have a question for Mamta Kale. Mamta Kale, my question is simple to you. 2 days ago, you defended the CBFC when you were on the show. Today, again, the question that's been raised here, and I'm bringing the elephant in the room. The question that's been raised here is, why is such a high-profile focus put on this case, flying down the Solicitor General to argue this case and all these matters, fuels the perception that the film is being targeted by the CBFC at the behest of the BJP. That's the perception that it fuels. Why is that happening?
Thank you so much for having me on your show once again. And I also, wonder, and I'm really surprised as the former member of CBFC as to why is everyone targeting CBFC. CBFC is doing its job. I mean, if CBFC doesn't follow the rules which has been given to them, then the same set of people will say that this body or the member of this body are not doing justice to the job assigned to them by the Information and Broadcasting Ministry. Now, as far as this movie is concerned, again, I would say, why so much of hue and cry? Why so much of halla gulla happening everywhere? I mean, it is just another movie. I mean, like this happens with a lot many other movies. Now, today also, whatever happened in the court is court's decision. First of all, we must understand that the single judge did not even give an opportunity to the CBFC to file the counter affidavit. And they have just, the single judge simply decided to set aside the decision of the CBFC chairperson. Is this logical? No, it is not. See, I mean...
okay, so you're saying it's only procedural. Mamta Kale arguing, Vasudha. Why is there so much hangama about this? It's just another film. Every film goes through this. It's a process.
Well, Ms. Kale, we've often been corrected not to call the CBFC censor board. We've always been told that, it is certification board. But sometimes, you do wonder if such bodies are also prone to political pressure. Ma'am, today the CBFC was also called out, was pulled up for, using a complaint which the judge said was and could have been an afterthought. How foolproof are these procedures when it comes to political pressures?
I will just tell you what the Chief Justice today said. The Chief Justice asked, how can single judge bench pass an order without giving an opportunity to CBFC file a counter affidavit? This was told by the Chief Justice. Point number one. Point number two, he also asked another question as to how come the producer of the movie decided to roll out the movie without having the CBFC certification in his hand. I mean, you have to have the CBFC certification with you before you announce the date. So whose fault is this? They were not given the certification. So they should have at least waited for the certification. One more thing I just want to tell you quickly. I heard somebody
Mamta,
saying
I have Kasturi Shankar, actress and activist as well with her. Kasturi, you want to just respond to what Mamta is saying, that it's the producers, they should have the certification before they announce the release date. But from my understanding, most filmmakers announce the date and then wait for the certification because it's a matter of procedure and process.
Yes. I think by the rule book, yes, you cannot, you can announce the release date. You cannot guarantee the release date. You cannot bet on the release date. But you can announce it, and it is the done practice. The practice in any film industry is when you have a high profile picture, you announce a premium release date and you work towards it. You work backwards towards it. In that way, I feel the producers have been very remiss because if reports are to be believed, this movie was completed and ready to be screened in April of 2025. However, the producers approached the CBFC on 18th of December. Where was the need to be so lackadaisical? I think the producers absolutely did not understand the gravity of Jana Nayagan as a movie and as a political launch pad for Vijay. They should have anticipated. It's very unfortunate this is happening now, and I don't at all. I'm one of the many disappointed people.
No, you're making an important point. Let me ask Sam Daniel to weigh in on the point that Kasturi is making. Sam Daniel, Kasturi is saying that given that this is a political film, Vijay knows and has been taking on, he knows that there are going to be political connotations. Why did the producers wake up only on the 5th of January? They should have moved the courts, if at all, earlier, and they should have built pressure earlier. Would you also say that the producers were playing to it only in the last minute and were lax? What's the sense you're picking up?
It could be both ways, Viragav. One, they never expected this would get this much delayed. They say they gave a timeline because the producer, the CBFC had given an understanding that once you make these changes and cuts, automatically you'll get the certification. They waited. And it's also quite possible that the producers want to generate a buzz. The more the delayed, the more the publicity. It will also help them at the box office whenever it sees the light of its day. So it could be both ways. But
You're saying you can't discount the fact that this is all part of a strategy.
that's right.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it seems a little far-fetched, right?
Parasakti makers were in touch with us and they were very anxious and they were nervous and they, went out of this way to ensure that the certification comes in time. I felt Jana Nayagan producers were really confident and they felt that it would not be so problematic and that the BJP will not do something like this. That's what they said. Of course, BJP and CBFC are different, but they were very confident that the centre will not do something like this because it's about sentiments. I think a little bit of overconfidence did play there. And that's why I think the fact that TVK is a fledgling party does show in crisis times like this that they have to be over prepared, they have to be suspicious, and they have to be a little, they have to be driven by that suspicion.
I'll tell you what, Vasudha, even in a story of this nature, even we need to be censored a little bit because there needs to be a certification for what we say, what we don't say. Sumant Raman, who has observed politics very closely. Sumant, what's your big takeaway? Because my sense is that this only bolsters Vijay's narrative of the one being targeted and politically bolsters him. Is that the way you see it? How would you see it?
Okay, first of all, I would straight away debunk this whole theory that the production house itself deliberately wanted to do something to delay the film. I think that's complete absurdity for a simple reason that they stand to lose a huge amount of money. There are a whole lot of commitments that are made when a movie is scheduled for release. It's not just it's not something you just talk. There's money involved. So to say that the production house will deliberately delay their own movie, to me it makes very little sense. And just because potentially Vijay can get some political mileage out of it, I don't think so. Second, the important point is between December 22nd, when TVK, the production company says that they were informally informed that the movie would get a 16 plus UA certificate, and the committee had approved that. And the 4th of January, when apparently they were told that somebody has an objection. Now the question is, were they told on, say, 23rd of December or 24th of December or any time intervening before the 4th of January that somebody had an objection? So far, the production house has not categorically clarified that. Now, one other point, Veera, is that, look, this is not about the production house applying 10 days before or 15 days before. Had the censor board wished, this could have been, had the CBFC wished, they could have even potentially held a meeting subsequently to take a call on what objection this one individual had and got
All right.
the team to do the necessary
Sumant,
cut.
I'm sorry.
I don't-
I'm
I
sorry
don't
to
understand.
interrupt you, but my colleague Sam Daniel here, who's been breaking all the stories first, has some update that he's going to give us. Go ahead.
Not an update, just a view. In these situations, it's often the producer who should take the reel. Although politically, Vijay could be a fledgling party, lacking that kind of a strategy, their role stops with acting.
All right, okay. No, I got that bit, but let me get Karan as well. Sumant, and I'll come back to you. I'm sorry I interrupted you there. Karan, who's a pro-DMK advocate, who joins us now live because the DMK has also decided not to engage in this issue. Karan, is it because Parashakti, which is overtly and covertly linked to the DMK, is hitting the screens? Will this create a narrative that a DMK film is allowed by the center but not a Vijay film, which means that Vijay is being targeted by the BJP, but there's also a BJP DMK understanding?
There's absolutely not the point that we are actually looking at here today. The point is that the CBFC is absolutely undermining our right to freedom, right? That is what we have to look at. This is not an angle that anybody is even looking at, or if anybody is even thinking about, because it's not true, right? The main point here is the fact that the CBFC is curtailing the freedom of speech. That is a right that every concerned citizen, even as you and I are, have to have access to. So when the CBFC is doing these things, and they had December 19th was when they had looked at the movie. They had ample amount of time to decide on a movie and give the 16+ UA rating that they wanted. But unfortunately, that is not what is happening. There's an undue delay, an unreasonable delay that, of course, the courts also are looking into, and I will leave the court's decision to them. But today, the main issue here we have to be talking about is the fact that there is a curtailment of our freedom of speech as an entertainment movie that is being stopped from releasing today. That is what we have to be looking at, right?
All right, you're making a bigger point. Vijay, Dharani, respond to that point being made by Karan. This is not about film, but it's about the right to release a film, and that's being curtailed. He says this needs to be seen as a curb on freedom of speech and expression, not one that's about politics or about a film.
Absolutely.
Respond to that.
See, freedom of speech and other things would arise when a member speaks in the assembly, when a member speaks in the parliament, when any other politician or any other of authority makes a remark. But insofar as the movie is concerned, it is very clear that they have to take the CBFC certification. It is mandatory. So it is not discretionary, it is not optional, it is mandatory. So this certification, they should have gone to the CBFC well in before. 7 months before they should have gone, they should have anticipated the situation. Being a politically set up movie, they should have anticipated everything and they should have gone well in before.
Right.
And any NOC is pending, they should have got the NOC and given. Some NOCs are pending, which they have not cleared. And very important.
All right, so you're putting the onus on the producers. I also have with me, ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt you, because right here, though the TVK is not officially responding, and I must say that. Yeah, go ahead, finish your point.
That is, see, they should have
Finish your
challenged the letter 6th of this month letter, 6th of December letter. They should have challenged by way of writ of certiorari. That itself they did not do. Beyond that, the single judge has gone in the issue regarding that letter on jurisdictional issue. So, an appeal has to be preferred because it is the law is being twisted in a different manner. So the appeal is pending. Now we have to wait for the appeal to come up.
All right, so you are saying that it's purely a process and an appeal was absolutely the way to, because of the case that's there. The TVK is not officially responding. Vasudha had to leave right now, but Sam Daniel still with us. And we also have one guest who's come in. This is Saranya Durai, who's a local TVK worker but a Vijay fan, who 2 days ago, when I'd come to the theatre, was confidently putting up posters, hoping to see Jana Nayagan today. Saranya, disappointed? What's the sense amongst fans of Vijay? I know you can't give me a political response from the TVK because it's not, but as a Vijay fan, what's your sense? Were you hoping, how would the theatre have been had the movie released?
Yeah, we had a great disappointment, and today's it has been a great festival, and the celebration has I can't say in the words. So we feel very bad about this. Yeah.
You're feeling very bad about this. But what is Pongal to you without a Vijay film?
No, there is no Pongal. When for Talapati fans, the Pongal is going to be only when the Jana Nayagan is released, and we have no Pongal.
Only when Jana Nayagan releases, you will have Pongal. Ajay, tell me something. You were putting up posters. How much will a person spend on putting up a poster like this? All this is being put by fans with their own money.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're almost in tears right now.
Yeah, that's about around. They're doing about 10,000 or 20. About what the heights they're doing.
Okay. And you all put these posters for all his films?
Yeah, almost for all his films.
Tell me, theater எப்படி இருந்திருக்கும்? அவர் படம் ரிலீஸ் ஆயிருந்ததுன்னா எப்படி இருந்திருக்கும் இந்த இடத்துல? நம்ம நின்னு பேசி இருக்க முடியுமா? Could we have stood here and spoken if the movie had released?
Not at all. உண்மையா அது வந்து மொத்த ஜனநாயகமே இங்க தான் இருந்திருக்கும். Totally hero is up there, and we are feeling very bad.
You're feeling very bad.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for speaking to us. Hopefully it will release. The fact that it's not, it may not.
Having another point to say, and it's going to be for every Talapati fans is nightmare, and we are getting nights with a heavy tears. Yeah, this is not fair.
Okay. Why do you think it's happening?
Hope you know that. Hope all the people know that. Yeah.
You're letting the people know that you don't want to say it.
True never fails.
Truth never fails. Thanks very much there, Saranya, for speaking to us. Obviously, you'll have your fans as well who will come here. They would have been dancing and singing had this happened. But Sam, very quickly before I go back to Sumant Raman, what's your sense on the TVK? Is this the strategy of the TVK? We'll keep quiet, let people talk about it. It only bolsters us. The more we speak, it will only come back to us.
That's right. They are capitalizing on the public perception, which automatically suspects some force behind orchestrating this. They do not want to precipitate it by giving names, but they know the more the delay, it's going to politically benefit them, so they're keeping quiet.
Right. Let me go across to Sumant Raman. Sumant, you were making a point and I had to rudely interrupt you like we always do when we have some kind of other thing that comes up. Please go ahead and finish your point. I'm sorry for interrupting you there.
The point I was making, Veera, is very simple. I think Sam is being very generous when he says that they are being silent and letting things play out. We saw what happened after Karur. They were just paralyzed for a few days. Nothing. There were no comments, nothing. So I think that, the lack of political experience is very, very apparent. The TVK does not have a leadership that can decide things quickly, that can work the phones, have connects in the political world, who can pick up the phone and call maybe somebody in Delhi who could help resolve this. They don't have that level of senior political leaders, potentially who could have been in other parties and then joined the TVK. That is completely absent. So there, people with political experience in that party is almost, only 2 or 3 people, and they are all not big ticket players. So therefore, it is that inexperience which came in, which we saw after Karur. It's the same inexperience that we are seeing today. Almost 48 hours this has been going on, and there has not been a peep officially from them.
That's right, Sumant. I may be forced to agree with that point because I've spoken to several of them, but it also seems to be part of the strategy to be quiet, Sumant. I must tell you that they are aware of it. They have changed from the Karur stampede, and I think there is a sense that they want to deliberately wait to see how this plays out, given that he's had a summons to go to Delhi as well. Let's see how that plays out, but very, very briefly, Kasturi Shankar, what's your sense? How is this going to impact both the politics and the film eventually?
Okay, I think at this point, the DMK is laughing all the way to the bank and maybe to the electoral styles as well, because Parashakti has got a solo run at the box office right now. And instead, and the blame significantly is going to the BJP. I think the BJP at the center and the state have to do something, not play another Vijay. They have to take this proactively, because if they don't do something to clear their name, they are going to be linked forever with the CBFC's activities. I have read the copy of the judgment. You need to know that the petitioners, namely the producers, did not ask for relief or a UA certificate to be restored to them. You need to know that, Veera. They did not ask for that. They did not ask for the review committee to sit immediately. They didn't ask
They
for
only
any of
asked for
that.
a certification. Their prayer was that certification be given to them.
Yes. So, no. Their prayer was that the film be released with the earlier certification, which was not given to them.
That's right.
In toto, 3 of the 5 board members gave it. So there was a problem there. Their petition was not made up properly. I think more than all of this, the silence, the sheer inaction of Mr. Vijay and his party leaders is a telling truth. If they don't even act for their own movie, how are they going to act for the people of Tamil Nadu? What are they going to be doing? This is not strategy.
All right,
This
okay,
is
you're making a
inaction.
very strong point. Lata Srinivasan, weigh in on that, please, very briefly.
Everybody wants Vijay to talk and Vijay to speak up for his film. But, Veera, he's in a very difficult position right now because on one hand, we've seen what happened with the Karur tragedy and all that. And, he's trying to make his way into politics and he's also a novice at this. It's going to take him time to learn the ropes, right? And he thought he'll go out of the bang, but now this is just causing more trouble. I think he's also, in a way, he's a bit rudderless or, doesn't have people giving him proper directions. And it shows, the inadequacies on his part and TVK's part as well. So I think it's going to be a big learning for him at the end of the day. Because like others have said, whenever, Jana Nayagan releases, it's going to be a big blockbuster.
Right, okay. Mamta Kale, very briefly, your thoughts before I give the final word to Vijay Dharani.
First of all, I just want to tell all the fans out there that it is a temporary phase. The movie is going to be released as soon as the observation which has been put under rule number 24 get resolved. One more thing I want to say. See, on Jan 6th, CBFC chairman Prasun Joshi had decided to refer the movie to the revising committee. However, that decision of CBFC was not challenged by the production house before the High Court then. Why is my question? They should have challenged it that particular day. They knew it, that it is being challenged and they are not going to get the certificate so early. In fact, the Chief Justice today asked the question which I had just raised, that how can you go ahead with the screening of the movie without any certification in hand? So, I feel there are a lot of mistakes which has been made by the production house. I wish them good luck, but it is very
All right,
easy
you made your
to
point
target
very clearly.
CBFC.
I'm completely running out
is
of
a
time. I'm
body
sorry for
which does its job
interrupting this.
utmost.
Vijay Dharani, very briefly, 20 seconds to you to make a final point.
See, very, very important is the Vijay's production team. They should have handled this matter properly and they should have filed a writ of certiorari challenging the letter dated 6th by the chairperson. And even a revision committee, they could have appeared and given the NOCs whatever required. They could have done everything. And by now, they would have got the certification. It is all the mistake lies on the part of the production team and Vijay's team. They should have done
All right, let me give the final word actually, given that you made that insinuation to Karan. Karan, go ahead. What do you say to the arguments that's made that the producers didn't handle it properly? Quickly.
19th of December was when the movie was shown to them. There was enough and more time for them to decide on the rating of the movie. So, in my like I had made my point earlier, it is all about the CBFC doing and having an undue delay on the giving their certification. I know it's the due process and I agree that it is something that they have to follow and every film follows. But then at the end of the day, it's a movie, it's an entertainment. It is something that a citizen has a right to do. And we have to stop looking at it from just purely a political angle.
They have to follow the rule book also.
All right. Okay.
We
So you made that point. Stop looking at it from a political angle. I know all you analysts have a point to make. I wish I had more time, but unfortunately, I don't have time. I'm running out of time on this discussion. We'll take a very short break. Thanks to all of you for joining us here. We'll keep coming back to you because this debate isn't going anywhere. We'll take a very short break. When we come back, much more on the Southern View.